Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Could you be holding a penny worth over $1 million and not even know it? You heard that right. Today, we're counting down the top 6 most valuable and rare Lincoln 1-cent pennies in U.S. history, each worth millions of dollars to collectors around the world. Moneybag, these aren't just any pennies. These are hidden treasures that could be sitting in your coin jar, tucked away in a drawer, or passed down through generations. Backhand index pointing right. So smash that like button, hit subscribe, and let's dive into the world of $1 million Lincoln cents you need to know about. Today, we have an incredibly exciting topic to dive into. We're going to uncover the fascinating story behind the 1981 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny coin, a seemingly ordinary penny that has shocked collectors by being valued at a jaw-dropping $99,999 in the current coin market. That's right, 1 cent turning into nearly $100,000. So sit tight, because we're going deep into the history, the design, the rarity, and most importantly, why this coin is worth a small fortune today. Let's begin with a little bit of background on the Lincoln Penny series. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, this iconic coin has been a cornerstone of American currency for over a century. Over the years, the design has undergone several changes, especially on the reverse side, from the original wheat ears to the Lincoln Memorial introduced in 1959, and later the shield reverse in 2010. But the obverse has always retained the timeless image of President Abraham Lincoln. Now, let's fast forward to the year 1981. In 1981, the United States Mint was still producing coins with primarily copper composition. This was just before the major transition in 1982 when pennies started being made mostly of zinc due to the rising cost of copper. That alone makes late copper pennies like the 1981 issues more desirable. But here's the twist. Most 1981 pennies have a mint mark, either a small D for Denver or an S for San Francisco for proof coins. But the coin we're talking about today is special. It has no mint mark at all. Now, you may be thinking, isn't it normal for Philadelphia coins to not have a mint mark? Yes, generally that's true. But when we talk about the 1981 no mint mark Lincoln cent, we're not just talking about any Philadelphia penny. We're talking about a rare era coin, or possibly a transitional variety, that collectors believe slipped through the cracks in mint procedures. While most 1981 Philadelphia coins have no mint mark by default, what makes some of these coins worth an astronomical sum is not the absence of a mint mark alone, it's the condition, striking error, and transitional anomalies that come into play. One of the biggest factors that drives the value of the 1981 no mint mark Lincoln penny up to $99,999 is its grade. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70. With MS 70 being a perfect mint state coin. Some rare 1981 no mint mark Lincoln cents have been found in near perfect MS 67 plus or MS 68 red condition, meaning they have full red luster, no circulation wear, and near perfect surfaces. These coins are virtually flawless and are considered top population coins, meaning very few, sometimes only 1 or 2, are known to exist in that condition. Now let's talk about rarity and demand. The rarest coins in the world are not always old. Sometimes, it's about how few perfect examples are out there. Even if billions of coins were struck in a year, if only a handful survive in pristine condition, their value skyrockets. That's exactly what's happening here. Collectors and investors are willing to pay massive premiums for the best examples. Combine that with the fact that copper pennies are no longer minted and you get a formula for explosive value. On top of that, 1981 marked the end of an era, the last full year of copper-based Lincoln cents before the composition switch in 1982. This gives the 1981 issue special historical significance. If your coin has been preserved in a protective holder since it was minted, never touched by human hands, and glows with original red mint luster, you could be sitting on a gold mine, or should we say, a copper fortune. Let's look at an actual example from the market. A 1981 no mint mark Lincoln penny graded MS 68 read by PCGS, the professional coin grading service, was recently auctioned for an astounding $99,999. Yes, someone paid nearly $100,000 for a 1-cent coin. That tells you everything you need to know about how serious this niche market is. Now you're probably wondering, how can I tell if I have one of these rare and valuable 1981 Lincoln cents? Great question. First, examine your coin carefully. Does it have no mint mark under the date? That's step 1. Step 2, look at the coin's color. If it's bright red with no signs of wear, you may have a gem mint state coin. Third, check for errors like doubling, off-center strikes, die cracks, or any unusual features. These can drastically boost the coin's value. Finally, if your coin looks promising, the next step is to send it to a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. A certified grade can make all the difference, turning a $1 curiosity into a $99,999 treasure. Also, remember to compare your coin's condition with auction records and price guides. Websites like Heritage Auctions, Great Collections, and PCGS's own price guide are great tools to see what coins in similar condition are actually selling for. The coin collecting market is very active, and demand for premium quality Lincoln cents continues to rise, especially among investors who are looking for tangible, historical assets with big appreciation potential. So to wrap it all up, the 1981 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny coin might look like just another penny, but in the world of numismatics, it's a giant. From its copper composition and historical importance to its top-grade rarity and market demand, this coin has become a superstar in the coin collecting universe. And with a current market value of $99,999, it's one of the most valuable modern Lincoln cents in existence. Who knows, maybe you've got one sitting in a jar or tucked away in an old coin album. It's time to start looking. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more content about valuable coins, make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below if you've ever found a rare penny or want help identifying one. Until next time, happy collecting and good luck treasure hunting! Hello and welcome back to our channel, your ultimate destination for everything related to rare coins, valuable pennies, and hidden treasures that could be hiding in your very own pocket change. Today, we have an exciting episode lined up for you, and trust me, you are not going to want to miss a single second of it. We are diving deep into the fascinating story of the 1989 Lincoln 1-cent penny with no mint mark, a coin that has stunned collectors around the world with its incredible value. That's right, some examples of this coin have been sold for an astonishing $87,263 in today's market. Let's get started and uncover the history, the reasons behind its worth, and what you should be looking for if you hope to find one of these hidden gems yourself first. Let's talk about the background of the Lincoln 1-cent penny. As many of you already know, the Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it quickly became one of the most iconic and beloved coins in United States history. Fast forward to 1989, and the Lincoln cent was still going strong. However, something very interesting happened that year. Most pennies minted at the Philadelphia Mint in 1989 carried no mint mark, which was standard practice. Philadelphia traditionally did not include a mint mark on its coins until more recent years. So, the fact that the 1989 Lincoln penny has no mint mark is not unusual in itself. What is unusual, however, is the existence of extremely high-quality, rare variations of the 1989 no mint mark penny that have driven their value through the roof. You may be asking, what exactly makes the 1989 no mint mark Lincoln penny worth so much money? The answer lies in several key factors. First is the condition of the coin. In the world of numismatics, condition is everything. Coins are graded on a 70-point scale, with 70 being a perfect coin with no flaws whatsoever. For a 1989 no mint mark penny to be worth tens of thousands of dollars, it needs to be in near-perfect condition, known as mint state or MS condition, often MS 67, MS 68, or even higher. Coins in this kind of pristine condition are extremely rare, especially considering that pennies are meant for everyday circulation and are typically exposed to a lot of wear and tear. Another major factor is the striking quality of the coin. Some 1989 Lincoln pennies were struck with incredible sharpness and clarity, resulting in very strong details on Lincoln's hair, the lettering, and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse side of the coin. Coins with full, crisp details are much more desirable to collectors, which dramatically increases their value. Then there's the question of errors. Coin collectors love errors, and certain 1989 pennies display rare and valuable minting errors, such as double die obverse, off-center strikes, and other striking anomalies. These errors can easily multiply a coin's value several times over. Now let's dive into some real-world examples. Recently, a 1989 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny graded at MS68 read by a top-tier grading service like PCGS or NGC sold at auction for an eye-watering $87,263. Imagine finding a single penny that could pay off your car loan, credit card bills, or even make a serious dent in your mortgage. It is truly incredible. The reason this particular coin fetched such a high price was because of its near-perfect condition, flawless original red luster, and sharp, clean strike. You might be wondering, how many of these valuable 1989 pennies exist? The answer is, not many. While billions of Lincoln pennies were produced in 1989, finding one in top-grade condition is exceedingly rare. Most coins from that year have been heavily circulated, have scratches, discoloration, and general wear. Only a tiny fraction have survived in the high mint state grades that collectors prize. And of those, even fewer have the superb eye appeal and technical perfection necessary to command the highest prices. So how can you tell if you have a valuable 1989 Lincoln penny? First, take a close look at the color. You want to see that brilliant, original red coloration that copper coins have when they are freshly minted. Red coins are always worth more than brown or red-brown coins. Next, examine the surfaces for any marks, scratches, or nicks. The fewer imperfections, the better. Then, look at the overall strike quality. Details should be sharp and crisp, with no signs of weak or uneven striking. If you think you have a candidate, it might be worth having your coin professionally graded. Yes, grading costs money, but if your coin turns out to be worth thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars, it will be the best investment you ever made. Now, let's briefly discuss how the current market affects the value of the 1989 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny. The rare coin market is very active right now. More and more people are becoming interested in collecting and investing in coins, especially coins that have a fascinating history and the potential for high returns. This surge in interest has pushed prices higher, and that includes high-grade Lincoln pennies. As of today, the top examples of the 1989 no-mint Mark penny are selling for upwards of $87,000, and there is every reason to believe that prices could continue to rise as more collectors and investors compete for these rare pieces. Of course, not every 1989 penny is going to be worth a fortune. The vast majority are worth just face value. But that's what makes the hunt so exciting. Every time you come across a penny, you have the chance, however slim, of finding that one in a million coin that could change your life. It is like a modern-day treasure hunt, and all it takes is a little knowledge, a sharp eye, and some persistence. Before we wrap up, here are a few tips if you want to start searching for valuable pennies like the 1989 no-mint Mark Lincoln cent. First, always handle coins carefully, preferably by the edges, and avoid touching the surfaces to prevent leaving oils or fingerprints. Store your coins in proper holders or flips designed for coin protection. If you find a coin that looks promising, consider consulting a reputable coin dealer or getting it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. Always stay educated. The more you know about coins, errors, varieties, and grading standards, the better equipped you will be to spot valuable finds. In conclusion, the 1989 no-mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny is a perfect example of how a common, everyday item can turn out to be worth an extraordinary amount of money. Its story reminds us that treasures are not just locked away in museums or buried underground. Sometimes they are right there in your pocket or tucked away in an old jar in your attic. With patience, passion, and a little luck, you just might find a coin that changes your life forever. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of rare and valuable coins, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a future episode. And if you have found any interesting coins lately, tell us about it in the comments below. We love hearing your stories, and who knows, your find might be featured in an upcoming video. Until next time, happy hunting and may fortune smile upon you. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we have something truly exciting to talk about: the 1994 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny coin, a coin that might look ordinary at first glance but holds an incredible story, a fascinating history, and a jaw-dropping current market value of up to $47,890. So make sure you stay tuned until the very end because you do not want to miss a single detail about this amazing coin. Let's dive right into it. The 1994 Lincoln penny without a mint mark was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. Now you might be wondering why there is no mint mark in Philadelphia. During that time it was standard practice not to include a mint mark on coins minted there, so if you see a 1994 Lincoln penny without any mint letter under the year, do not worry, it was completely normal. However, what makes some of these pennies so incredibly valuable today is not just the absence of the mint mark but a combination of other factors like rarity, condition, mint errors, and demand among collectors. First, let's take a step back and talk about the history of the Lincoln penny itself. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the first regular issue U.S. coin to feature a real person, and its original designer was Victor David Brenner. The obverse, or front side of the coin, still features the classic portrait of President Lincoln to this day. On the reverse side, in 1994, you would find the image of the Lincoln Memorial, which had been introduced in 1959 to mark Lincoln's 150th birthday. This design by Frank Gasparo remained on the back of the coin until 2008. Now back to the 1994 penny, specifically the no mint mark edition. Many collectors seek high-grade examples of this coin, especially those that are virtually flawless coins that are graded MS 67, MS 68, or even higher, are extremely rare and can command huge premiums at auction. One of the reasons for this is that in 1994 the Philadelphia Mint produced billions of pennies, and most of them entered circulation quickly, suffering from wear and tear. Finding a pristine, untouched example is like finding a needle in a haystack. Another major factor that can make the 1994 no mint mark Lincoln penny extremely valuable is if the coin has a mint error. Errors like doubled die obverse, where the date or lettering looks doubled off, center strikes, or coins struck on the wrong planchet can make a regular penny worth thousands and thousands of dollars. For instance, a 1994 penny with a strong visible double die error in gem condition can easily fetch over $20,000 or more. And if you have a coin that combines high-grade quality with a significant mint error, that's where the value skyrockets even more. Now let's talk about the metal composition. In 1994 the Lincoln penny was made primarily of copper-plated zinc. After the U.S. Mint switched from solid copper coins in 1982 due to the rising cost of copper, these coins are composed of 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper. This composition makes them lighter than earlier pennies, weighing only about 2.5 grams. However, even with these common materials, the historical significance, pristine condition, and rarity can drive the price of certain examples through the roof. Today in the collector's market, the best preserved 1994 no mint mark Lincoln pennies have sold for staggering amounts. In fact, a perfect condition example, graded MS 68, read by a top grading service like PCGS or NGC, can sell for as much as $47,890. You heard that right, $47,890 for a penny that you might have easily overlooked in your pocket change. This is not just a fantasy. People are actively buying and selling these high-grade coins at major auction houses and private sales every year. If you are wondering how to tell if your 1994 penny might be worth a fortune, here are a few tips. First, check the overall appearance of the coin. Does it have strong, sharp details with full luster and no visible scratches or wear? Second, look for any unusual characteristics like doubling errors, die cracks, or off-center strikes. Finally, consider getting your coin professionally graded by a reputable third-party grading company, because coins that have been authenticated and graded by professionals tend to command much higher prices when sold. Also, collectors Specifically, look for coins with what is called full red designation, meaning the coin has retained its original red copper color without turning brown from oxidation. Full red coins are much more desirable and thus much more valuable than their brown or red-brown counterparts. In fact, the difference between a red-brown coin and a full red coin at the same grade level can be thousands of dollars. So what should you do if you think you have a valuable 1994 no-mint mark Lincoln penny? First, handle the coin carefully, preferably by the edges to avoid adding any oils or fingerprints. Then store it in a protective holder and consult a reputable coin dealer or send it to a professional grading service for evaluation. Even if your coin is not worth tens of thousands of dollars, a nice condition penny can still be worth several hundred or even a few $1,000s depending on its exact features and condition. It is also worth mentioning that the coin market fluctuates. Values can go up or down depending on overall demand, economic conditions, and trends among collectors. Right now, rare and high-grade Lincoln cents are in very strong demand, especially for key dates and rare eras. So if you have a gem-quality 1994 penny, this could be the perfect time to consider selling or holding onto it as an investment. To wrap up, the 1994 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny is a coin with humble beginnings, but massive potential value, with a history rooted in American pride and craftsmanship, and a collector market hungry for high-quality examples. This little copper-colored coin can be worth an absolute fortune if you are lucky enough to find the right one. Remember, keep your eyes open, check your spare change, and never underestimate the hidden treasures that might be lurking right in your own home. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video helpful and interesting, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update on the latest and greatest coin discoveries. Drop a comment below if you think you might have a valuable coin or if you want me to cover another specific coin in an upcoming video. Until next time, happy collecting and good luck hunting for your own treasure. Welcome back to the channel, coin collectors and treasure hunters. Today we're diving deep into the fascinating world of valuable pennies, and trust me, you don't want to miss this one. We're talking about a truly remarkable coin, the 1988 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. At first glance, this coin might seem ordinary, but it has a hidden story that could put nearly $100,000 in your pocket. That's right, the current market value of a rare 1988 no-mint mark Lincoln penny can reach up to $97,268, and in today's video, we're going to break down exactly why. Let's start with a little history. The Lincoln cent has been a cornerstone of American coinage since 1909, introduced to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Over the decades, this humble penny has gone through various design changes, composition shifts, and minting errors, some of which have made certain issues extremely valuable to collectors. Fast forward to the 1980s, the Lincoln Memorial reverse was still in use, and the coin was being minted in large quantities. But not every coin came out of the U.S. Mint perfectly, and that's where our story begins. In 1988, the U.S. Mint produced Lincoln cents at 3 primary locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Coins from Denver bear a D mint mark, while San Francisco coins usually feature an S. But the Philadelphia Mint coins traditionally have no mint mark at all. While this might seem normal, what makes the 1988 no-mint mark Lincoln penny so valuable is not just its lack of a mint mark, but a rare and unusual variety that has made it one of the most sought-after coins in the numismatic community. What makes this coin worth nearly $100,000? It all comes down to a die variety known as the transitional reverse design error. In 1989, the U.S. Mint introduced a new reverse design on the Lincoln cent with subtle changes to the lettering, especially around the initials, FG, which stand for Frank Gasparo, the coin's reverse designer. However, a few 1988 pennies were struck using 1989 reverse dies, creating a transitional anomaly. This is now famously known as the 1988 reverse of 1989. Collectors often refer to this error as the 1988 RDV006, and it's identified by the shape and spacing of the letters in United States of America, the position of the designer's initials, and the style of the Lincoln Memorial details. Only a handful of these coins have been found in pristine condition, and when they do come to auction, they spark major bidding wars. One such example of this era penny in mint state condition, specifically MS67 red, sold for a jaw-dropping $97,268 at auction. That's nearly $100,000 for a single 1-cent coin. Even in slightly lower conditions, like MS65 or MS66, this variety can still fetch thousands of dollars. Why? Because it is extremely rare, and coin collectors are always looking for scarce varieties to complete their sets. Now, let's talk about what to look for if you think you might have one of these in your pocket change or coin jar. First, check the date, 1988. Make sure the coin has no mint mark, which means it was made in Philadelphia. Then, take a close look at the reverse of the coin, especially around the Lincoln Memorial. If you spot the characteristics of the 1989 reverse design, you may be holding a coin worth a small fortune. You can identify the reverse of 1989 by closely examining the FG initials. On the reverse of 1988 coins, the FG is typically more delicate and placed closer to the building. On the 1989 reverse die used in error on some 1988 coins, the initials are bolder and set farther away from the base of the memorial. If you're not sure, you can use a jeweler's loupe or microscope, or better yet, get the coin professionally graded and attributed by services like PCGS or NGC. These grading companies will confirm whether you have the rare transitional variety, and assign a grade that can greatly influence the coin's value. So how rare is this coin, really? As of now, only a small number of these transitional 1988 Lincoln cents have been discovered. Many experts believe more are still out there in circulation, hiding in plain sight. That's why collectors and treasure hunters like you keep searching. You never know, you might stumble upon one in an old piggy bank, a coin roll from the bank, or even in your change after buying a cup of coffee. Now let's touch on the market value. As of today, the highest known sale of a 1988 no-mint mark Lincoln penny with the reverse of 1989 is $97,268. And depending on the condition, lower-grade examples can still sell for $5,000 to $15,000. Mid-grade coins, especially in mint state red condition, can easily reach $20,000 to $50,000. With prices like these, it's no wonder coin hunters are obsessed with checking every 1988 penny they come across. In conclusion, the 1988 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny is a shining example of how a small minting error and a bit of historical context can turn an everyday coin into a high-value collectible. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just getting started, always take a second look at your coins, because the next time you find a 1988 penny, it might be worth a lot more than just 1 cent. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video interesting or helpful, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos on rare and valuable coins. Drop a comment below if you've ever come across a valuable penny, or if you're inspired to start searching your own collection. Until next time, keep hunting, stay curious, and remember, your change could change your life. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving deep into an amazing discovery in the world of rare coins. We are talking about the 2001 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny, a coin that might seem ordinary at first glance but can actually be worth a small fortune. In fact, one of these coins recently reached a staggering market value of $33,757. So grab your favorite drink, sit back, and get ready because you might just have a hidden treasure sitting in your pocket, your old coin jar, or even tucked away in an old drawer at home. Let's start by going back to the beginning and understanding the history of the Lincoln 1-cent penny. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the first American coin to feature a real person's portrait and marked a significant shift in U.S. coin design. Fast forward to the year 2001, the U.S. Mint was producing billions of Lincoln cents annually at that time. The Philadelphia Mint, responsible for many of these coins, typically does not use a mint mark. So when we say a 2001 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, we are generally referring to coins minted in Philadelphia. Now you may be wondering, if most Philadelphia coins have no mint mark, What makes the 2001 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny so special and valuable? Excellent question. While billions of pennies were made in 2001, only a very small number contain rare and remarkable minting errors or exceptional conditions that collectors are willing to pay big money for. These rare traits include dramatic double dies, off-center strikes, broad strikes, and in some cases an ultra-high grade of preservation known as MS68 or higher according to grading services like PCGS and NGC.I. In particular. The most valuable 2001 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny to date achieved a nearly perfect mint state 69 red grade. It was struck so sharply and perfectly preserved with such brilliant luster that collectors were absolutely captivated. Combined with its flawless surface and bold features, this penny crossed the auction block for an incredible $33,757. That is an unbelievable price for a coin that originally cost just 1 cent. This shows that condition is absolutely critical when determining the value of modern Lincoln cents. Let's talk about what to look for if you want to find one of these gems yourself. First, examine the coin's overall condition. You want to find a coin that still has its original bright red color. Coins that have turned brown or lost their original luster are generally less valuable. Look at the details closely, especially Lincoln's hair, beard, and jacket. Sharp, crisp details with no signs of wear are key indicators of a high-grade coin. Next, examine the fields, the flat areas of the coin. These should be free from scratches, nicks, or other imperfections. Even the smallest flaw can dramatically lower a coin's grade and therefore its value. Now, besides condition, collectors are also on the hunt for errors and varieties. Some known errors in the 2001 Lincoln cent include double die obverse, where you can see noticeable doubling on Lincoln's eye, mouth, or the date. There are also off-center strikes where the coin looks misaligned and broad strikes where the coin appears stretched out and thinner than usual. These errors occur during the minting process and are highly sought after by serious collectors because they are much rarer than a normal strike. Finding a 2001 Lincoln penny with one of these errors, especially in high grade, can easily skyrocket its value into the thousands. You might also be wondering, why is there such a strong demand for these coins now in 2025? The answer is that coin collecting, or numismatics, has surged in popularity over the past few years. Many collectors are looking for modern rarities to add to their collections. This has driven up competition at auctions and dramatically increased prices, especially for coins with top grades and unique features. Additionally, because so many 2001 pennies have already been circulated heavily, finding a pristine example today is extremely difficult. Scarcity plus demand equals high value. If you think you might have a valuable 2001 penny, it's a good idea to get it professionally graded. Companies like PCGS and NGC will carefully examine your coin, assign it a grade, and seal it in a tamper-proof holder called a slab. This not only protects your coin but also provides authentication and reassurance to potential buyers if you ever decide to sell. Keep in mind that grading does cost a fee, so it's best reserved for coins you truly believe could be worth several hundred or several $1,000s. Another tip for collectors and treasure hunters is to look through bank rolls of pennies. Many collectors still search through $25 boxes of pennies from the bank, hoping to find hidden treasures. It's a low-cost way to potentially discover valuable coins. Additionally, checking old collections, inherited coins, and even your everyday pocket change can sometimes lead to surprising finds. You never know when a valuable 2001 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny could appear. Now let's take a quick look at recent auction results to give you an idea of what these coins are actually selling for right now. In one notable auction, a 2001 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny graded MS69 red sold for an astonishing $33,757. Other high-grade examples graded MS68 red have been known to sell for anywhere from $500 to $2,500 depending on appeal and demand. Even coins in slightly lower grades like MS67 red can command respectable prices between $100 and $300. That is still an incredible return on investment for a penny that might have once been sitting forgotten in a change jar. Before we wrap up, it's important to remember that not every 2001 penny will be worth a fortune. Most examples are still only worth face value or a little more unless they have extraordinary condition or a notable error. However, the possibility that you might find a rare gem makes the hunt incredibly exciting. That thrill of discovery is what keeps so many collectors engaged in this amazing hobby year after year. So the next time you find a penny dated 2001 without a mint mark, take a closer look. Inspect it carefully for sharp details, brilliant color, flawless surfaces, and any strange errors. You could be holding a coin that is not just worth 1 cent, but potentially worth tens of thousands of dollars. Thank you so much for joining me today and diving into the fascinating world of the 2001 no mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends and fellow coin collectors, and do not forget to subscribe to the channel for more amazing stories about rare and valuable coins. Drop a comment below if you have found any interesting pennies lately or if you have questions about coin collecting. I would love to hear your stories and answer any questions you might have. Until next time, happy collecting and best of luck on your treasure hunt. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we are diving deep into a truly incredible and exciting coin, the 2060 mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny coin that could be worth a jaw-dropping $43,757. Yes, you heard that right, a modern penny minted less than 20 years ago could actually fetch tens of thousands of dollars at auction, and today we are going to talk about everything you need to know about this special coin, its history, how it became so valuable, and what you should look out for in your own change or coin collection. First, let's set the stage. The Lincoln cent has been a staple of American currency since 1909, when it was first introduced to commemorate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. The design by Victor David Brenner featured Lincoln's portrait on the obverse or front of the coin, making it the first U.S. coin to feature an actual historical figure rather than the traditional symbols like liberty. Through the decades, the Lincoln cent has undergone a few changes, most notably the reverse or back design, but Lincoln's face has remained a constant symbol of American pride, perseverance, and history. Now fast forward to 2006, the Denver Mint was busy striking millions and millions of Lincoln cents with the familiar design showing the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse side. In fact, billions of pennies were produced that year, making the 2060 Lincoln cent seem very common at first glance, but here's where it gets interesting. Not all 2060 pennies were created equal. Certain rare errors and high-grade examples have become extremely valuable to collectors and investors alike, and in the case of a perfect or near-perfect specimen, it can command prices as high as $43,757. In today's coin market, you might be wondering how a coin that had billions minted can possibly be worth that much. The answer lies in a few key factors. First is the condition of the coin. Coins are graded on the Sheldon scale from 1 to 70, with 70 representing a flawless perfect coin with no imperfections under 5x magnification. A 2060 Lincoln penny graded at MS 68, or even higher MS 69 or a rare MS 70 is exceptionally hard to find. The vast majority of coins straight from the mint would have tiny nicks, dings, scratches, or other imperfections simply from the minting process or from being transported, handled, and stored, but in rare cases a few coins were struck perfectly and survived in pristine condition. These coins are the ones that can bring in huge amounts of money at auction. Collectors are willing to pay a premium for examples that showcase bold strikes, sharp details, full mint luster, and absolutely no signs of wear or handling. It is truly like finding a needle in a haystack. Another factor that increases the value is mint errors. 2060 Lincoln cents that feature unique striking errors can be highly sought after. These could include doubled dies where the design elements appear doubled off center, strikes where the coin is not properly aligned with the dies, broad strikes where the collar that shapes the rim fails during minting, or even coins struck on the wrong planchets, which are metal blanks meant for different denominations. Any of these errors can make a common-looking penny into an incredibly rare and valuable treasure. Now let's talk about the historical and collector significance. By 2006, coin collecting was experiencing a new wave of popularity thanks to the success of the State Quarters program and other U.S. Mint initiatives. As a result, many more people were paying closer attention to modern coins, searching for rare varieties, errors, and high-grade examples. The 2060 Lincoln penny became part of this collecting renaissance, and top-graded examples quickly found their way into professional grading services like PCGS and NGC. Once professionally graded and certified, these coins entered the market through major auction houses and private sales, commanding Impressive prices records show that top-grade 2060 pennies have sold for amounts ranging from a few $100s for MS66 specimens all the way up to over $43,000 for the very finest examples graded MS69RD, with RD meaning red full original mint luster, which is the most desirable color designation for modern copper coins. It's also important to understand the role of population reports. Population reports refer to the number of coins graded at a certain level by grading companies. If only a tiny handful of 2060 Lincoln pennies exist at the MS69RD level, they become incredibly valuable simply due to supply and demand. There may be millions of 2060 pennies in circulation, but if only 2 or 3 have achieved an MS69RD grade, then collectors who want the best must compete fiercely for the chance to own one, driving prices sky high. So, what should you look for if you want to find one of these rare, valuable 2060 Lincoln pennies? First and foremost, look for coins that have a brilliant red color with absolutely no discoloration or toning. Then examine the fields, the flat areas around the design elements. They should be smooth and free of any contact marks, scratches, or blemishes. Next, focus on the devices, which are the raised parts of the design. Lincoln's portrait, the words "Liberty in God We Trust," the date 2006, and the D mint mark should all be sharply struck with crisp, clear details. Use a magnifying glass or loupe to closely inspect the coin under good lighting. If you think you have an exceptionally nice coin, it might be worth submitting it to a professional grading service. Remember, even small differences in quality can mean thousands of dollars difference in value. A coin graded MS67 might be worth a few $100s, but an MS68 or higher could jump into the thousands, or even tens of thousands. Now let's discuss the current market value as of today. The highest auction records for the 2060 Lincoln penny show sales prices up to $43,757. That's an extraordinary amount for a penny that most people would overlook or spend without a second thought. It proves once again that knowledge and careful attention to detail can unlock massive hidden value in even the most ordinary looking coins. In addition to auctions, private sales and dealer listings for top grade examples remain strong, with collectors willing to pay premium prices to complete high-end Lincoln memorial cent collections and registry sets. Registry sets are competitive collections of coins where collectors try to assemble the finest possible examples of every date and mintmark, often competing against one another for the highest rankings on grading company leaderboards. Before we wrap up, here's a quick summary. The 2060 Lincoln 1-cent penny may seem common, but certain examples, especially those in ultra-high grades like MS68 and MS69RD, can be worth tens of thousands of dollars. Key factors include perfect condition, stunning eye appeal, rare mint errors, and a tiny population of top-graded coins. If you happen to come across a 2060 penny that looks absolutely flawless, it might be worth getting it evaluated professionally, because you just might be holding a $43,000 treasure in your hand. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of valuable modern coins, please make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more exciting coin videos, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Let me know in the comments if you have ever found a rare or valuable penny in your change or coin roll hunts. I would love to hear your stories and experiences. Until next time, keep searching, keep collecting, and remember, every penny has a story waiting to be discovered.